everyone. Today we got to play Until Daylight. Now, this is a zombie-themed game. Very close to Halloween, so that's why we're playing it. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because board games are amazing. And you would like to see some more Halloween-themed games coming up here shortly. Now, Robert, can you tell us a little bit more about Until Daylight?
Yes, I can. So, Until Daylight, overall rank is came out in 2019, and overall rank is 11,769. Rated is 6.5. Couple designers, Thomas Philippi, maybe, and then Gary Paltry. Art by Ben Bouchow, maybe, and Elsa Lamy. Published by Flyos Games. Now plays 3 to 6 people, ages 14 and up. I don't know. You think that 14? I don't think. I think probably a little bit.
Thematically, lower. It's a little dark, but I mean,
yeah, a little bit, but it's not like gruesome or anything.
No.
So, but ages 14 up, 60-minute playtime. I think that sounds accurate. Geek Market, we had a lot of different prices here. So, Geek Market, it's got it. There's no English or U.S. versions for sale. So 19 lira, 45 to 50 euro. Now Card House is out of stock, but it's for $39.99. Retail is $49.99.
Now there was a Kickstarter, or is going to be a Kickstarter with it's called Survive Until Daylight, which is the same game, but they did some
tweaks to the rules.
Some tweaks and some clarification on the rules.
Yeah.
So if this is something interesting, definitely look at the new release.
Yeah, there might be able to do like late pledge or something like that.
Yeah, surviving. All right, so let's talk about it. So quality of components. You get a bunch of different player characters that have the little for your experience and
I really like this.
Yeah, well, you have to assemble them. Yeah, I mean it comes in pieces, but the only thing I didn't like is the plastic pieces didn't always pop in firmly, so some of the dials are a little spinny, but they're not bad, and they are a little wobbly.
Okay, and then card quality there is some minor lino finish, and it's pretty good.
Actually,
there is a lino
there's
finish
some peeling, yeah, but but when I got it out of the packaging, it was peeling on the edges on some of the cards.
I see that already. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to want to sleeve it if you get it.
You did get custom-made dice.
Yeah.
What is this timer for?
It's if you don't use the app. So there is an app that can keep the time for you. It has a little bit of eerie, creepy kind of sounds to it. But all it functions for is replacing the sand timer. So you can use the sand timer or use the app. So it's not dependent on the app.
Yeah. And then you have some cardboard chits for your barricades and for your trips that you make. And that's pretty much the component-wise.
You got the really nice cardboard leader chip.
Yes.
We didn't talk about that. It needs
to stay in front of me at all times.
Yes.
And it does have a linen finish on it.
So we can discuss that. Overall, I don't think there's anything absolutely great or amazing. I think these are okay. So I'm going to give this probably a 6. What are you guys thinking?
I think I'm a 6.5. I mean, even though the cards are peeling, hopefully it's not the same for all the sets like that. So linen finish cards is pretty nice. I really do like these. I think they look good. The artwork on them is pretty cool. So I think I'm a 6.5.
I'm probably with you on the 6 because of the peeling and the fact that they don't assemble firmly. They're still a little loose. I'm probably with you on 6.
Okay, let's talk about theme. Now, the theme obviously is that you are trying to just survive a zombie apocalypse, right? There's a bunch of infected that are after you, but not only that, there are raiders that are trying to steal your stuff. Overall, it is very reminiscent. It reminds me of like Dead of Winter and things like that. However, they do definitely take a different type of art style approach. So this one's a lot more cartoony than say some of your other the main zombie games I'm thinking of. And then the monster zombies are really monstrous. I actually don't like the arts for the monsters.
I do. I really like the art on it. It's kind of. I do. It's a different art style, and I can't remember any of the artists that comic book wise that has the same type of art style, but I really do. It kind of gives me a Jay Lee feel if you know Jay Lee's artwork.
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
Well, I mean, you say it's zombies, but it's infected, so it's more like The Thing,
like John Carpenter's Thing.
Yeah, well, I don't mind like the cartoon art, but like the zombies, I'm not a huge fan. And as far as like the objects, those are fine. So for theme, I'm probably gonna give this A 6.5. I do think that there's a lot of components, like you're trying to build barricades, you're trying to build traps, you're trying to defend. So I think there's a lot of gameplay involved, but I'm not a huge fan of the art, specific parts of the art here. So I'm at a 6.5. What about you guys?
I'm probably a 7. I think that the art's okay. It doesn't thrill me. It doesn't wow me, but it's okay. I do like some of the art. Like, I like the background, especially on the legendary weapons. I thought that was really cool looking. You know, and I like the fact that they did take the time to make the junk different in many, you know, most of it. I did have a couple repeat newspapers, but, you know, you might get the same edition out there. But, yeah, I thought, you know, thematically, I liked all the different items that you found in the deck, except for all the penalty ones. Those sucked. And I do like the fact that they did integrate this well with a survival game. Yeah. Now, you know, I don't know why we only care about one survivor and try to save them. There's 5 out there,
well,
but
maybe
we
that's
only
how you
care
can
to
raise
save
the
one.
difficulty level of the game is save more.
It doesn't mention that.
Hey, we actually saved 2 this go around.
Yeah, we did save 2. Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
So we beat it on medium.
Yeah. Well, there is no medium. There is no level.
I made it up, Randy.
Okay.
All right. So.
I'm actually a little bit higher. I really do like the artwork. I think the art's great. I think the mechanics fit the theme fits the mechanics. Mechanics fit the theme really well. Adds a little bit of tension. I do like. Granted, thankfully, none of my weapons got destroyed, but it still adds that like oh crap moment, like you would maybe experience if a zombie was chasing you, you know, and you're oh crap, my shoes are untied, trip and fall. It's the same type of idea, and so I liked all that. So I'm a 7.5.
Or you could just like break your knife on the opening salvo when you first step out the door.
Yeah, like
I did. Yeah. so.
All right. So now let's talk about the actual rule book. Now I do think Now, they did say in this new one that they're correcting some of this stuff. Well, there was definitely some stuff that needed corrected.
But we can't judge that. Yeah. So we only got this, and we're not.
But there was a reason why.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why they're doing a
So Rulebook does have a nice cover on it. It's a 28-page rulebook.
But it's not full, full size.
Yeah, it's got some neat thematics at the beginning. It goes into what's in the box. First complaint is they don't really define, like they have the cards, but they're all like all the stuff is piled into one thing. You know, for example, it says like 95 horde cards or the 185 rebel cards, but when you first get it out, it doesn't really tell you
which.
Well, like the rebel cards, I could clearly tell they were rebel, but there was a bunch of different styles and they were all separated in the box. As a matter of fact, when they packaged them, they had them all just integrated, so you had to separate them all out, which is, you know, that's always annoying.
Yeah.
But when you got it out, I'm like, okay, do these all get shuffled together? They all have the same back on them, so I think they do. But when you came to the monster pile, they were all different. So, and they're all two-sided with the same picture. So you couldn't tell if these were all to be integrated together. There's no pictures whatsoever when you get into the setup. So trying to differentiate how things go, I had to go and count all the cards to see, do all these get mixed together? Because without reading the whole rulebook, I wouldn't have known the survivors are mixed in with the zombies. So it's like survivors in particular seemed odd that I would be putting them in the monster deck, but I didn't know for sure. So, you know, it was just kind of a nuisance setting it up. And then once we got past that, there were just a lot of holes in individual rules. There's no clarification on the item cards, anything in the Rebel deck. So there's some iconography on the back, but that's the only help. Now, they do have a cheat sheet, which gives you the kind of the phases and steps of the rounds, which this was helpful, but it has no iconography helping and no descriptions of the cards on it either. On the back, they have this craft guide, which was kind of useless because the cards themselves were self-explanatory, telling you what the other one it paired with was.
And I didn't even know it was on there.
Yeah, so
I didn't either.
This side would have been much more useful to have the iconography that's on the back of this, to have that printed on it. So the rulebook had a lot of things lacking. Also, the font is tiny. I mean,
it is hard to read.
It is so small.
You need a
for us blind guys.
Yeah. So, and then it seems like some of the examples, they even took a font down from the standard, and they faded the font to be a lighter color. So
even
it's like
better.
Let's make it. Oh, it's not hard enough in 0.4 font. Let's make it 0.2 and make it light and blending the same color as the back of the book. So yeah, it was very difficult rule book to read.
So what would you score?
I'm probably going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
Ooh, that one's rough.
Well, I mean, 5 is our average.
Yeah.
And it was
And
definitely more difficult than average. And,
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it is the reason they're doing a surviving until daylight.
Well, we'll
Well,
need
fair
it because we survived this game.
I think they should call it surviving the rule book for until daylight.
All right, so now let's talk about actual gameplay. So there is 2 really phases of this round. The first one is that you flip over the timer or you do the app, right? And you'll pick up a card, and I say junk next. So Randy will then take a card
Well, it doesn't
or do
have
something
to be a
else.
card. You got
So-
other actions you can do. You can draw a card. You can build a trap or barricade if you have the right card combinations to do that. You can give one of your cards to another player. You can take a card from another player if they give you permission, or in the case of Caleb,
Or Caleb, because he's a jerk.
pickpocket and can steal a card. Or you can use one of the cards, like if you're wounded and you have something to heal.
I had an awesome axe.
Yeah, or you can just pass your turn. But it's all going to involve the cards in some way.
Yeah, and so you're going to continue to do this, but speed is very important because you have only this amount of time. So while Randy stole all this time, he's not taking his turn, so therefore we only get 1 action.
I didn't realize we were actually playing the game. I thought we were explaining the game.
No, I was trying to do different actions, but you just
Okay,
jumped
well,
in.
the timer's going.
Yeah.
So I've got all these things here, but nothing combined. So I would draw. Oh, I got the pickpocket, so I can steal from Caleb now.
Or me. A card I was looking for the entire game and could never find, the organic bar.
Did you really not find that the whole
I
game?
never could find
All
it.
right. Now, I actually have nails and the planks, so I'm going to turn these in to create a barricade. Oh, crap. I only am allowed
I have
2.
one in front of me.
Okay. But you can only have a max of 2, so just kind of keep that in mind. Now, again, like the organic bar allows him to heal. And then also, it's very important to make sure you have weapons. Because that's where important.
Yeah.
That's where that second phase comes around. So everyone keeps doing those single
Till
actions.
the time runs out. When the time runs out, whoever the last person to take an action before, or they have to say next to pass their turn.
Before the gong
Gong sounds, if you're playing with the app, or the sand runs out. I personally like the app because you don't have to focus somebody watching the
That's
sand.
why I like it, because I can hear it, and then I'm just focusing on cards.
All right, and so that leads to the next phase. So whoever was the last person not to say next, basically they get the number of cards with the round plus the dice.
Number of players.
Plus the number of players. So we're on round 10, plus there's 3 players. Then I'm going to roll this die. Oh, I actually get 1 less.
That never happened during the game.
That never
did.
happened. All right, so now I'm going to take 12 cards. Now, it does matter about the order that they're taken. 3,
Counting
4,
slower.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so
12.
It'd be 12.
12. I'm really trying to not
That's
take any
10.
of these. What?
You said 9, and then you stopped.
There we go.
Hey, she got 12.
All right, so then I'm going to put these
12.
all in front of me. And like I said, the order does matter, so you cannot change the order. Okay, and then now I'm going to take an action. Now, typically, you should move. At the beginning of the game, we didn't always get to attack because we didn't either have ammo or maybe we didn't have a weapon.
In the early game, I didn't get attacked except for I didn't get attacked until round 3.
Yeah, we played it 2 times back to back because the first time we died right away because
round 1.
we start out with 2 people with melee attacks and 2 people with weapon attacks, and you guys didn't get any ammo for your weapons. And my knife got broken on the first card I drew.
So it did not end well. I died really quickly.
Yeah, so basically we have 1 person that could attack, and we got hammered.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yes.
No, I got hammered because I kept ending up with all the things, all the people. We couldn't get them killed. All right, so now it is my turn because it landed on me, so I have to do the first action. Now, I am going to attack, but there are a couple other options that you can do. You can attack. You can have the most at 6 dice, okay? So you can build a trap or barricade. Now, I feel like that's a waste in this part of the game because you should have done that as you were going through.
Unless if you don't have your ammo, then
or
it might
it's
be a
something to
good
do.
turn.
It's something to do, right? You can give a rebel card to someone else. So there's a lot of stuff that may not be useful for me. Like for me, ammo was very important to me. arrows were important to you, right? So we would often, I'm giving Robert this or whatever, but we typically didn't do that during the combat phase. We typically did that in the search phase. And then you get to take a rebel card from another player with their consent. But again, we mostly did that in the search phase. It almost seems a waste at this point, but if you absolutely have to, it's an option. And then you could use a card requiring an action. So there are some things that are instant actions that you can do with your turn, and they typically had this little explosion icon. So, for example, Randy here has a wooden shield that absorbs 1 damage, and it has that icon there. So you can typically do that with your attack. Or you could do nothing. I suggest not do nothing.
Well, there's one other thing. You can get rid of like all your junk cards. This is the only phase you could do that in.
Yeah, but you can get rid of your junk card if you get over 10 counts. Yeah. So that's something that we didn't mention, is that you can only have a total of 10 cards, excluding gun ammo stacks and shungot shell stacks.
Or just
any kind of ammo. But there's, there are cards that alter it. Like you had a backpack.
I had a backpack. They gave me 3 extra spots.
One of the characters allows you to have a different number as well.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to actually attack because I do have some ammo, and I already spent that, so I have 6 dice. Now, I've got 2 little run people. That means I shot people in the things, in the elbows, in the elbows, or in their kneecaps. Okay, right. So to kill a zombie or a raider, you have to have 2 of those. Okay, to kill them. So I'm going to kill these 3. Not the survivor. No, not that one. So I'm going to kill these 3. The 3 wanderers first. Now, Randy's going to take his action. Randy, what are you going to do?
Well, since you've still got a lot of monsters there, I have a pretty awesome attack ability right now, because first of all, there's one of the features of this game I really like are these experience. You get these cards, these objectives that there's some that are specifically tied to your character, and then there's also, you'll get one to choose, you pick 2 and keep one of the secondary objective that you get to add to your supplement. And those will give you experience points. In addition, killing the monsters, specifically the big bads, will also give you experience, or saving survivors will give you experience. So there's things that you can do to level up your character.
Except there's no really leveling up unless you have the most. And this is my biggest complaint. This is my biggest complaint. I feel like, okay, at 5 XP, I can have an extra +1 combat dice, or increase my limit or something. Yeah. I feel like
I think it's a missed opportunity to have some kind of level for that. But I do like the trying to meet these goals. And whoever has the most gets the leader token.
And that's why I liked it so much, because he had it the whole game.
Well, I lost it for a bit because Caleb was determined. But the thing is I still argue, and I still think it makes sense. And Caleb agreed with me that my ability was more powerful than his for using the doubling, because he had one that just basically absorbed 1 attack. Whereas I was getting an extra attack die for every one of those.
I would have as well. Yeah. If I would have ever had the opportunity.
Yeah, well, and so here's my thing, though. I mean, I do think it's a missed opportunity to actually add something to your character, and it didn't have to be big.
Yeah.
That's what was frustrating to me, is because, okay, I was not far behind you the whole entire game. I never got it. So it was like, well, what was the point in me trying to even focus on these? And like, Andrew set up this big, huge thing and got all these points and did all this thing, because his were actually kind of hard because he had to take damage, but he didn't really get anything for that. And I just felt that was kind of
I agree. It's a huge missed opportunity, and it was nice for one person, but all this experience I got was useless. Really, it was just straight up useless.
I do like the fact that the cards were thematic for your character.
I do like
those were cool, and they were fun trying to complete them.
Yeah,
but I mean, as far as the experience part of it,
I agree. Really, they should have been more use for that.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that the Psycho sometimes did things that were counterintuitive to the players. So I'm going to get, with this, I've got a flail that does 4 dice, and then my ability gives me a natural 1 extra die, but I get to double it because of the leader token, so I get to use 6 dice, and that's the maximum in general that you can use. Now, there is a bomb that if you can build it, that you get to basically double that one time. It's a one-time use. But all right, so attack. Now, the one thing, when you're attacking, you're attacking someone else's characters in front of them. I got a really good roll. I got 2 instant kills, or two face hits.
2 headshots.
and I got 4 body shots.
So this matters because some require headshots only. So, for example, this brute requires 1 headshot to be able to kill him. So even though you had 2 body shots, it would not work. Now, in this case, Randy has a headshot, so that's going to be allotted here. These only require... And you have to go in order. So, like, I actually don't, but if I did have another headshot person... He couldn't do it unless it was already in order.
Yeah. Now, you can choose to attack the survivor if you want to. Generally, you don't want to. I did have one of my XP abilities was based upon killing a survivor. So there are times where you might need to do that.
Because he's a psycho.
But yeah, in general, you're wanting to preserve the survivors. So, so I'm attacking, killing 4 of them. Now, in general, whenever you attack someone else's characters, if they have any infected, now that doesn't include the raiders. The raiders are just other humans out to get you, but because
like zombie type
because
cards.
I killed 4 of these, I'm going to attract 4 of the remaining ones back to me,
which is all of them.
So
Yay!
the good news is that helps protect the survivor. Bad news is I'm going to get attacked 4 times.
Yeah, and then because he got rid of these, there are sometimes bonuses, not just victory points, but also he gets 2 rummage cards. So he also
and
gets
even though the
rummage
zombie
card.
was in front of her, he killed him. He gets the reward.
Correct. And so
I've reached my hand limit, so I have to discard those.
Yeah, unless there was something you want, then you can choose.
Well, there's
something else.
another pickpocket. I could pickpocket my pickpocket.
Let's
There you
not. Okay, and then Robert would take his turn.
Yep.
And then after that, then we would start the new round of the search phase. So, no.
Well, no, then the zombies attack us.
So the zombie does attack us. I forgot about that. Okay, so Robert, take your turn and see if you can destroy these guys.
So with Randy, he's got 4 wonders. I'd have to roll against him. So each one requires a die. So I roll. Now, it takes 2 body.
So
so
this
is a really bad roll against Randy. So that's a hit. That's a hit. That's a miss.
But the miss is, especially when you have a situation like this,
where he's melee.
He's not a
Or
melee.
no, he's not
The zombies.
I thought
the zombies.
No, it's your turn.
Oh.
So you're attacking, but he's got a ranged weapon. Now, ranged weapons, if you miss the zombies, you actually hit the player.
You're trying to help.
So he ends up wounding me for 1 with that X.
But then I killed a zombie with those 2 and an instant hit.
So you killed 2, which is going to lure these 2 over to you.
Over to me.
Right. So now so everyone takes their turn. Now we're going to resolve this. So those cards have 2 dice on them. So first you would do the raiders if the raiders were there, and you would roll them separately. Then you would do the wanderers, and then you would do the brutes. Okay.
And someone else is supposed to roll against you.
So I do the wanderers. So, you get a hit and a half. The half drops off, so you get take 1 damage.
So I would take 1, and
hopefully you're not dead. All right.
And that's the end of the round.
And that's the end of the round, and then you start over again. Now, everyone has a certain amount of health. I only have 2. So that's one of the reasons why I died, is I ended up with all the ones at the very beginning when our first game we played, because I had so little health. But you have 3.
I have 3.
I had 3, I think, and
then
Caleb had an extra.
4.
I think,
he had 4.
So
So it just depends on your character, how much life that you have.
And there's 2 other characters we didn't play with.
Yeah.
So it plays up to 6.
Yeah. So overall, it's kind of a combat game, which isn't my favorite, but I thought this was okay. I like the co-op. I didn't feel like anyone was specifically trying to kill me like normal.
I think Rob tried a few times. Well, you tried to rob a few times. What? You shot Rob in the face a few times.
So that's why I was like, just push stuff to me and let me kill it, right? Like, it's fine. I'll kill him. I was like, here, let me build up my barricades and my explosives, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mind having a melee weapon, because I couldn't do that. But the penalty with the melee is if you have creatures in front of you, you have to attack them. You
first.
can't attack one of the other people. So if one situation we had survivors and you had one, and we were trying to protect you, and I couldn't attack because I had to fight the ones in front of me first.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a little bit of caveat. I think there's benefits to both the long range and the
A little bit of strategy.
There's a little bit of strategy, and I think that's okay. So overall, I thought this was fine. Now, here's the question, guys. So this is very reminiscent of Dead of Winter for me. Do you like this better than Dead of Winter?
Oh, no.
No. I don't find this to be like Dead of Winter at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
You
either.
don't?
No, thematically, but game-wise, no. I don't think this... I mean, first of all, this is a full co-op. Dead of Winter is definitely not full
It's
co-op.
semi.
It's semi-co-op, but even then, you've got your own personal agendas. Even if you're not a trader, you've got a personal agenda. Secondly, yes, you're gathering items. That you are doing that, which is similar. I'll give you that. But the purpose of those items is totally different in this. I mean, you are trying to build some barricades. I'll give you that too. So I can see why you're saying I'm arguing against myself now. This is Dead of Winter. What are you talking about?
No, I think this is like a lighter version of Dead of Winter. Like if you think Dead of Winter is too clunky or too big, too complicated, then this might be something for you.
I don't know. I mean, to me, that I don't picture it in the same, because to me, complete co-op is a completely different game. And, I consider this almost more like Run Fight or Die or something like that. Even though Run Fight or Die is
I don't even think it feels
at all.
like Run Fight or Die either. I think it feels fairly unique. I don't think it's anything like Dead of Winter.
Really?
Dead of Winter is so much more story driven, and there's like.
I just think this is like a lighter version.
There's so much more theme behind Dead of Winter. I don't get that feeling.
I just think this is like a lighter version. That's all. It's just like, if I didn't want a heavy zombie game.
I don't get it. I understand your point, but I don't get it.
I mean,
you build barricades. You collect stuff. You try to help other people.
Oh, there's cards in it, so that means all card games are like Dead of Winter.
No. I mean, you go and you search for stuff, and then you accumulate your hoard, and you can choose to help people or steal. Like Andrew did.
I understand where you come from, but it just doesn't feel the same to me.
Yeah.
See, it feels the same to me.
It definitely is a different feeling for me. And I'm not a big fan of co-op games, but this one I did enjoy. I think the theme itself covers
co-op
it.
Game that he said
he's like quite
but it's not, again, it's not a shuffle the cards deck game.
I know.
I know. It's good.
So, we didn't point out the game ends after 10 rounds.
Yes.
You have to go the full 10 rounds. There's no ending it short. And you have to end the game by keeping a survivor alive and all the players alive. If anybody ever dies, I guess that technically ends the game before the...
Yeah.
Because if one player dies, the game ends.
But even if you all survive, but a survivor didn't.
Yeah. Which I actually like that, because I hate for a game for player elimination.
Yeah.
So that this is definitely not a player elimination game.
That's true.
But it can lead your game to be very short.
So overall, what'd you think of it? I mean,
I thought it was okay. I think it was a good little, it was combat without feeling attacky.
Yeah.
So that was fine. I'm probably going to get this a 7. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I would play it again if someone says like, hey, let's go play this. Okay.
I'm probably a 6.5. I think it was fine. I think it was a good game. It's not bad. It's just I think there's a lot better games that in the genre. But I
just think this is easier.
It is easier. That doesn't
ones.
change the fact that because of that, I think the simplicity of it and the fact that you don't have the different, variants. I mean, there's only so many cards in the Rebel deck. And one of the challenges I thought was also the fact that you have 2 Rebel decks. You split it in half and put it, we kind of put it on 2 sides of the table, but it tells you to have 2 Rebel decks. But if you end up with one of them running out and you have to reshuffle, you're either going to keep the same cards in that Rebel deck.
Or across the trigger the other day.
Yeah, because we ended up reshuffling and mixing them all, because I really think you need to mix it, because otherwise...
I was fine with having all the negative cards on you.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
I was fine with it. That's what I said.
I agree with Randy. I thought it was a decent game, but I didn't think there was really anything to, write home about. And there's nothing particularly special about it. So I'm 6.5. I played again, but I'm not going to nominate it to be played at any given time. So,
all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had a great time, and hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you later. Bye.